A house must be built not only with very strong, powerful, costly materials and objects, but also with the kind of emotions and feelings and understandings and reciprocities from all of the people and members that are not only mutually respectable and admirable and recognizable and trustworthy, but also the people that are highly self knowledgeable and conscious and basically self respected and self reflective also in their individual lives in one or another, because it's the individual men and women that compose communities, that combine groups and make them complete and whole. And when the individuals in them fall apart, then the group or the community inevitably also always falls apart and collapses to the ground in one or another. So it's the foundations and pillars not only of the group, community, or the house alone, but the people, the individual members in them that actually matters and counts in their overall strength and longevity and permanency in one or another. And then again, a house which is divided against itself can neither strong nor sustain nor basically last for very long periods of time without falling to ashes. So definitely a house which is divided against itself cannot stand, it just cannot last for very long periods of time. And the same can be said of people and societies and communities that are already divided against itself and not only suffering and struggling with basically outside corruption, social inequality, and public injustice and poverty and unemployment anyway. So these things cannot stand because they are already divided against themselves, not only as a community, society, or public, but also as individuals. So definitely it's self-knowledge, it's self-respect and consciousness which we need to try to develop and build and gain within ourselves, obviously on the basis of our experiences and pains and self-evaluation, by constantly questioning our actions, doubting our problems, and then reforming our darkness or integrating our inward chaos and conflicts, and then rectifying our mistakes that actually matters. It's not about always seeing and criticizing the state and society and others' problems, but it's also always about seeing, recognizing, realizing the various, manifold, innumerable problems, conflicts, chaos that plague our behavior, from which we are constantly struggling and suffering in one or another, that we need to try to improve and correct anyways. That leads to genuine growth and prosperity and progress across different areas and fields in our lives in one or another. So a house must also be built like that, with very strong emotions and mutual respect and unconditional self-knowledge that sustains it. Otherwise